All right, good morning, guys. So, whoever is not attending the last session, kindly please share your details so that I can forward you the last recording, the required course content and material to your email address. Okay, whoever was missed out or who received, for them it is okay. Who have not received the recording last session, kindly please share your details in the chat box.
teacher.
Malah bisa.
You unmuted. What happens when she...
So kindly share your details in case you have not received in the last recording. So this is the second demo, practical. So in the first demo, we have discussed some basic about the BI process. Okay. And this is a completely second demo. So whoever is missed out, the first recording, please share your details in the chat box. So after today's class, we'll form one WhatsApp group where I'll be there. And on daily basis regarding the classes, meeting, job opportunity, whatever it is there, I'll keep you posted there, and the management, they're going to post over there in the WhatsApp group. So after today's class, there will be no mail communication. The recording will be given access directly on daily basis, whatever we are doing it. On everyday recording, the document, I'll give you direct, or I'll upload directly to the drive. So there, you'll get access directly. So this is what we discussed in the last class, the use of BA process end to end. All right, so whoever is joined just now or who not received last recording, please. So we have discussed in the last class some basic introduction about the process. BI process, and my background, and how we going to use that BI tools in the real time, where this ETL or reporting or databases are used, what is the advantage. And instead of setting in the on premises, we are moving the same kind of infrastructure, or you can say architecture of your BI process. We are moving towards the Azure platform. Okay, Azure is a store where you can purchase any kind of products, any kind of service. Like generally, how you go for Amazon and you purchase some products there. By keeping your money, you will be purchasing gadgets, clothing, electronic, other products. The same way, Azure is a platform where they provide some different platform services: SQL Server, ETL, databases, storages. So on background, on behalf of you, you just going to act like a virtually. On behalf of you, somebody, the scripts is going to work. Example, if you take your Gmail account, if you there you have a service called Google Drive. So in the Google Drive, you're going to store your photos, images, documents, and other stuff. Okay. So where you have that max to max, it's going to give you 15 GB. In that 15 GB, you're going to store your all your documents or other stuff. So where it is storing it. We are acting like a virtually, but we don't know where the physical it is stored. So we are using as a cloud platform, but we are not sure where they are storing the data. The same way in Azure also, we are accessing like a virtually. We are accessing like a virtually on behalf of us. Somebody Microsoft team is going to work on backend. So whatever you are doing it, there is also a physical infrastructure is there at background, like data center. Whatever you store like a virtually, you don't feel that physically you are storing it. But backend, yes, there will be a physical data center. And that physical data center, you can decide where you want in India region, in US, UK. You can decide that based on your project. So the complete cost cutting for your purchasing services, purchasing a softwares, you're not required. Maintenance team separately not required. IT team infrastructure is not required. All these things can be managed in Azure services. We just require a data analyst, data engineer, where they can help for our reporting. Okay, this is what we discussed in the last class. How we going to get the data, how to process in the storages account, depend upon company to company. They change their storages account. And through that, our work will start. The BI process end to end. Our work is to process. You can see there is a more involvement of ETL developer, more involvement of ETL jobs. You are not going to work entire project. Some team will work on data warehouse ETL. Some team ETL developers are going to work on data marts. Some team is going to process the data from the cubes. Some team will work on the summarized database. You are not going to work entire complete project. You are not responsible for entire project. You will be working for one of the application. It may be any application. For that application, you may have number of packages, number of developments, pipelines. There you will be working. So you're not going to work entire thing to get the data and to process till that. There will be a separate team, separate ETL developers. So we not sure where you're going to get in the real time. They may hire you for to process your data from directly source to your data lakes or source to your storages account. But we need to understand how we are going to extract, how we are going to process, how we are going to perform the unstructured data, structured data, or semi-structured data into a proper, meaningful information that help business owners to take the business decisions. Okay, so that is what I told you in the last session. Without having ETL knowledge, ETL development, there will be no jobs for reporting. So when your people or anyone here, I don't know, anyone is here for report developer or trying to look for or trying to switch to other job, from the reporting perspective, they need to must understand the ETL, either the SSIS model or data factory, because these are two products are from Microsoft. So if you understand SSIS, you can easily work on data factory. If you work on data factory, you can easily work on SSIS. Same way, the Power BI earlier tool was SSRS. And then the Power BI cloud services they introduced. Same way, data factory earlier tool was SSIS. Now they are implementing under data factory with any kind of format of data from any sources. But earlier we need to create in infrastructure in on premises. We have to do a lot of things. You have to create multiple connectivities to access from a different sources. But here everything will the portal itself. Whatever you are doing this picture, that picture also you need to implement in the portal only. No on premises. But when you're going with experience, there's a 3 years or 4 years experience, you need to also explain how you're working from on premises to the cloud. If not, they will ask a different questions and we need to explain how to process your on premises data to the cloud. There are different methods, different process. Generally, we call here as migration process, migration. There are different migrations method. There's a tools are there, there's a databases are there, there's a ETL process are there, different migrations. So one question you can expect in the interview when you are going with cloud services, how you are migrated your data from on premises to the cloud, because company directly don't go to the cloud. There are new projects are there from scratch. You can work directly on cloud. But if there are existing project, they want to move from on premises to the cloud, there is a migration involvement. So one question in interview they will be asked on migration. So what is your participation in a migration process? You are not going to take the system, move to the cloud. Your work, your profile is a data engineer, your profile is a data analyst. So you will be responsible for your data migration. You are not responsible for system migration. You are not responsible for the software migrations. So what is your background? You are responsible for that, and that related question they will ask. Okay, all right. So this is what we discussed in the last class, and we'll see same way the practically in today's class. Okay, so whoever is not shared your details or who missed out or who not joined last class, please share your details. I will forward you the last recording what we discussed about BI. Okay, so please ping me your details in the chat box. Okay, let's continue the class. So what I need to develop the same picture I'm going to work, I'm going to develop graphically. We required to develop what we required. We required different services. We required storages. We required storages. We required ETL tool. We required databases. We required reporting tools. To share the data with the end user, to process your data with end users. So end users, what they required? End users are required. They want to take decisions on business, whether they want to improve their business, whether they are getting loss or profit. They want to know. How they will know? By seeing the reports. How these reports will generate? I told you in the last class, based on the data. The data may contain a proper information. The information may come from different sources. And the sources may be a different formats. The format may be a different structures, semi-structure, unstructured, whatever it is. So your work is completely like a chef. Your work is completely like here as a chef. You need to prepare, you need to cook the food. That food is nothing but your data. You need to properly clean the data. You need to properly process the data. You need to get into a proper information. You need to get that whatever the data is there, you need to get proper in a form of proper information. So what chef will do, whatever you give ingredients to that chef, whatever dish you want to have a food, so he will prepare a food for you. The same way ETL developer will do the role here like a chef. Whatever data you give him, whether it is a structure or unstructured, as a ETL data factory developer, their work is to cook the data, whatever the data in whatever the format it is. At the end, you need to prepare one separate dish. That dish, the food will be served by your report developers. Okay, the dish will be separate or service by your report developer. Okay, our work is still here, not the reporting part. But yes, if they going to give you work, you have to work on reporting. Reporting is not a big challenge. We can do that as well. Okay, so but now we need to extract the data from Azure storage. You need to extract the data from a different formats of data. Whether it is an on-premises also, we need to extract. We don't know, wherever the data is there, you are responsible to extract it. So this is a basic level. So anyone know why we are loading the data in the SQL Server? Why can't we do analysis here itself in the file? Let's think once. If I have a file here, let's take this file only. I have this data. And as per this picture, if you understand what they are asking, application is processing your data in one of the storage, Azure storage. Okay. This is the file which is stored. Now I'll tell you how to create all the services. Just give me some time. We'll create all the services practically. Before that, let's understand this data. Why we required to extract that file and to load the file? What is the purpose of this one? Why can't we analyze this data here itself in this file? If you want a salary wise to see the employees, or you want location wise, how many employees are there, I can see this one here. I can do analysis here. Why we are loading this data by taking this data, different formats, and why we are loading this data to the databases? Any answer? What is the purpose? Why can't we analyze this data directly in the file? Anyone here? What is the purpose? To store the data in the table with the rows and columns. Okay. I can store this data in the Excel also. Can we see? Can we see in the Excel? We have Excel here. So if you want to store the data in the table, rows and columns, I will store here also. I'm good at Excel in Excel. So I will store my data in Excel. Here also rows and column. Then what is the purpose? Data will be dynamic. We have to do it continuously if we work. Okay. Data will be dynamic. Okay, that was one of the point. Any other points? Okay, we can do analysis directly. Okay, why can't we do directly analysis here? If you want analysis here, what analysis you want? Tell me, I'll do this one here. Summarize data. Okay, I can do here summarize data. So you want summarize data? So data, your huge volume data, I'll do summarize also for you. Let's go with a pivot table. What you want? You want salary wise employees, addresses wise employees. How many employees are there? I'll tell you. The counts of the employees. You can go and cross check. The file have the same employees. Canada have this much of revenue and there are 5 employees. If you want to see, you can put a filter here and search for the Canada region and see how many records are there. You can calculate there are 5 counts are here. And the same my summary is displaying. Business team is a required display. Yeah, what is that comment? Reports. We can do reports here also. What is the problem? I don't want Power BI. I'll do here itself report. You want report? Let's put the report also. So what format of report you want? Pie chart, line chart, what chart you want? See here, there's the reports. What format you want? I'll use the format. So whatever the report you want, that displaying the records, you can see the Canada, which is almost cover 50%. Then what is the purpose of going to that? What is the purpose of loading the data into the tables? That is what my question. Whatever you want, I can do analysis in Excel level. So without having a proper information, data will be dynamically, we can do continuously. Okay, huge data. Okay. Huge data. Yes, correct. Huge data. This is also one of the point. The one question you need to ask me that, sir, can you please tell me if you have lakhs of records, how you're going to do a pivot? Okay, if you have your Excel also max to max support 10 lakhs. You can see last record is my 10 lakh 48,000 something. 10 lakhs, right? If you want to do above the 10 lakhs, you cannot do. Even if you put an Excel for 5 or 6 lakhs, it completely your system will get gone. Your core processor will run background. It is very difficult. For one file is okay. If the files are come on daily basis, like one of our friends said, dynamically, the files may get different data, different kind of format. It is very difficult. For today, you got this data, and tomorrow you get data with a different regions or databases or other formats. It is very difficult to process. So that is what current situation we cannot predict. Your data may come from API REST, your data may come from HTTP URLs, your data may come from applications, the data may come from web applications or any other applications or other storages. So what we are doing it, whatever the data is there, let first stage into one particular centralized storage account. It may be a storage account called blob or called data lake gen 2. So current company, any company you go, first they get the data from any different sources in a form of raw data, in a form of natural data. They first stage them. Let first get it inside. Then we'll decide what to do with that data. First, we'll store the data. Then, accordingly, our business will implement our pipelines, will implement the reports. If you don't have data, then how are you going to do what you require for reporting? Based on that, we're going to implement. So that is what, first we get the data, then based on a requirement from a client, what they want to see in the report, they want to see the particular columns, we're going to generate only that particular column data. So, and on daily basis, it is very difficult. On daily basis, lakhs of millions of records you are coming. It is very highly impossible to do in Excel. So here in database, we can store a millions of record in a form of rows and columns where you can write your own select query, own aggregations, however you give the input, however you write a query that give you result. So that is what any BI tool you go, there is a basic SQL is required. That is what I prerequisite I told you earlier in the first demo, basic select queries required. Because as a ETL developer, you are loading the data, but you don't know what it is getting loaded. How much record is getting loaded on every day. From source, there is 100 records. And if you don't know SQL, basic SQL, the data is got loaded only 70 or 80 records, where the other records got processed. So you need to figure out that. So this is all we are going to discuss in our regular classes. Okay. So let's see practically how we can implement this in Azure. Okay. So I told you in the last session, to start with Azure, you just require 3 steps. One proper internet, one system, one laptop or desktop, whatever it is you have. One account. Account may be a free account, Microsoft giving you a free account, Microsoft giving you student account, Microsoft giving you premium account like your Netflix, how you pay on monthly basis, you can go with premium. Now I'm going to show you with a premium. Okay. So how to create these accounts, I'm going to explain you in the regular classes with a document with recording. Or if still you're having facing issue, we can connect. I will be free after level 30. You can call me. We can sit one-to-one. Okay. So after level 30, I'll be free. Till level, I have a classes. After level 30, I'll be free. We can sit one-to-one. We can do. Okay. Right. So let's go to the Azure. So there are 2 URLs we are going to work on, azure.com, Azure portal.azure.com. There's only 2 URLs. This URL is complete describe about the Microsoft Azure, the creations of account, other services, detail level it will show you. And this is the account called development, where you do complete development here. Okay, so let's go to the portal. So azure.com. So this is the place where you can create with your accounts, either the free account or a pay-as-you-go account, and the free account which is valid for 30 days. So after 30 days, how can I practice? I will tell you in regular classes. Okay. So get started with Azure. So it will take you to the creation part and it will show you what are the free services they are providing you. Okay. The moment you click on get started with Azure, it will show you what are the services. See, if you go to Amazon, Flipkart, without creating the account, can you purchase the products? No, at least it will ask you your mobile number, your location. Without that, you cannot purchase any product there. The same way here also, if you want to purchase SQL Server, a system, a storage, so you require account. Without account, you cannot purchase any kind of softwares in online. Okay, even though you are using for rental use, you have to pay some amount or you have to create first account. So when you click on try for free, it show you what are the free that they are going to give you. Microsoft giving you the wallet 200 USD dollars, which is in Indian currency almost 15 to 16,000 rupees, and you cannot withdraw this amount. You use this amount to purchase some products. Like when you go to the Flipkart, Amazon again, you require some money from your pocket to purchase that product, right? The same way here, you need to purchase like SQL Server, data lake, data factory, or to run some other things, automation, or to run something AI applications. So you need to pay some amount to the Microsoft because they are giving you dedicated CPU, RAM, memory, infrastructure they are giving you. So that is what they will charge. That charge also you no need to put from your pocket. Microsoft going to give you 200 USD dollars, almost in Indian currency 15 to 16,000. That for 30 days. Practice it. After that, create one more. And this is the one which I am spending like a rent house. I am going to pay like a rent house. How much time I am going to spend in that house, how much time I'm going to use that services, I'm going to pay. If I'm staying for 1 month, I'll pay for 1 month. Okay. After this one, you can convert to pay as you go if you required, otherwise not required. Okay, done. So these are the different services they will provide you. What are the services? These are the list of free account services. A system they are providing you, Windows, Linux, these all different services. Storages, SQL, PostSQL, other AI application, a lot of services are there. Okay, we're going to discuss in detail later. So the next account is portal.azure.com. This is the development place where you're going to work complete development. So there is no hidden URL. Company are using separate URL, sir. You are using separate. No, nothing like that. Whatever we are doing here, as it is, you're going to copy paste in your real time also. Okay. So there is a topic called subscription. In the tomorrow's class, I'm going to explain you what is a subscription. Without that, you cannot go through this portal. To work with the portal, first you need to understand subscription, some models, resources, services you need to understand. Without that, you cannot go and create the accounts. Okay. For time being, for demo, to implement this process, I'm just showing you practically how we can create, how we can achieve our requirement. Instead of doing on premises, I will do same thing in cloud. If anyone interested, you want to do in on premises also, I'll do that. Okay. All right. Let's understand by seeing this picture what are the services are required. So by seeing this picture, I can understand. So any development, first understand what is the requirement, what is the need. So to process the data, first is required one service. So we call here as account or service. One storage account is required. One data factory is required. One database is required. Then this one. Can we create one by one? Can we create first this one? Let's see how to create that. Or can we create this one first? Is up to you. So I'm creating a storage account. So very simple. So I'll go through in tomorrow's class, guys, the detail, what is the service, what are the options. For time being, I'm creating it. Okay. So don't worry, in our regular classes, each and every point I'll discuss. Now I'm directly creating it. So this is the place where you can search infrastructure. Okay. So when you go to and log into the Amazon Flipkart, what you see there? Categorization, different categorizations. Here also we have different categorizations in a form of infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. Okay. Different categorizations are divided. Infrastructure, physical involvement of services. Platform, the softwares, operating system, the other services, or built-in services. Okay. So what we required? We required a blob storage. Can I go and search here? Blob storage. So it is asking me, the keyword was found and the account is storage account. Okay. Click here. Click continue. Very simple. Everything in the portal. No need to installation. No, not required your system to be updated. If the update is not that, restart, updates, Java, .NET, whatever it is, the platform is there. But here, very simple. You just need to fill like a form and you need to use that. So here is my project name. My project name is Vinay Tech Demo Resource Group, a project, or I can give a project. I'm working for Vinay Tech Demo Project. Okay, this is my project name. Under that project, I'm creating a storage account with a name called Vinay Tech Storage Account. Sir, can you explain the purpose of storage blob again? Purpose is simple. Like, purpose is something like we have a files here. We have a files and we need to extract those files, whatever the formats are there. Those files we need to extract and we have to load it. That is the purpose. The file, now you ask me how this file will come. This file may come, I told you, different sources are there. Directly, your application will write the data. So we are now in the storage account. Directly, application will write the files. Our work is to extract the data here and to push the data here. Is it clear? Our work is to application everyday transactions are writing in the file. Transactions every day they are writing in the file. Where it is writing? Storage account. If they don't write, how will get a file? And from there we are extracting it. This is what the picture. Your application, this is consider this is the command like application which is writing the files here. That is the reason I'm creating a storage account. I'll give you access to the application. Application will start writing the files here. Once the files are written, my job is to extract those data, whatever the format is there. I need to clean that data. Here I'll do all the process. You can see this is a data factory. If I go inside data factory, I told you this is the picture. Inside data factory, what you're going to do? You're going to create data pipelines, which extracting the data, connections, data sets, activities, what to do, what to copy, where to copy, that connection. Okay, I'm coming to that. So for now, we are required a storage account where we have a files. We require data factory account to create a pipeline. We required storage to store the structured data. Then only this team can go and perform some operations. Very simple. First, you need to understand requirement. Then by seeing that picture, by understanding that requirement, you can implement one by one. So to implement this one, they'll take almost like 1 week of time. They will give you in real time also. We call as change request. In form of change request, they'll give you a timeline. It is not like 1 day requirement. Today you will develop some work. Tomorrow you'll do some work. They'll give you 1 week of time, or based on you, as you ask the time level. So they'll give you one particular time where you need to deploy these all things. Okay, let's see here practically. So where we are creating a service. So project name I given because I need to understand there are multiple projects are using by this in the Azure. In Azure, company having only one account. In account, multiple projects are there. So that is what I am writing my project name properly. Vinay Tech demo project. Some projects are Vinay Tech, some other level of project, IT project, other projects. Okay. So my account name is Vinay Tech storage account. So where you want to deploy, where you want to create the space in Google Drive. I told you, you cannot have an option that to select the data center. So physically, even though you are using like a cloud, that doesn't mean it will store in the cloud, white color clouds. No, it's stored in background. There is a data center. So the data center, you can select where you want, in which location you want, in which region you want. You can select. Because end of the year, there are a lot of things are there. Service level agreement are there. As per the audit, properly are storing or not. Is all they'll check. They'll physically go to that location. They'll see how standard they are maintaining it. That company to company, it is not our headache. So I'm just selecting. If you don't want this location, go with other locations. How you going to select this location, sir? This location will be selected based on your company type or your application deployed. If my application deployed in this location, I'm going to work with that nearby location. Okay, so select that location. Leave about all these options. I'll explain you in detail level in regular class. Okay, so in case of this location was corrupted or whatever the happened to this location, our data is very precious. So they may take a backup in different locations. They call redundancy. Backups, local backup, region wise, geographical wise. This is all we're going to discuss in regular class. Okay. For time being, I'm using local backup. So let's review final, and then create. So parallelly, I can work with one more tab. Parallelly, I can work with one more tab. So it is like an independent process. So you can go and you can work with one more tab. Meantime, it is creating. I'll create meantime data factory. Then I'll create storage. So I'll go and create data factory here. I'll just search here again, data factory. You no need to install. You just need to create here. Click on create. It is getting deployed. See here, nothing you need to do. Always through notification, what is happening background, how it is processing. This is not our headache. If any technical issues, it will throw you error. Okay. So that is what we always work on. One system, one company level, they'll give you development environment, testing environment, prod environment, where the system will always on high availability. On that means it will always on high on, where there may be no issue with the technical. Rare cases that have a technical, but if you connect with your local system, if the system or sometimes it may get connectivity issue, it may get fail the deployment. You need to recreate it, redeploy it again. There's an option. Okay, it is created. Let's wait. And I want to create data factory ETL in the same project. My data factory name is Vinay Tech ADF ETL. Okay, review. Don't worry, I'll explain all this. What is the version 1, version 2 in detail level, I'll explain. And there's a code repositories we also have, DevOps and GitHub. The code report is very important. I'll discuss in later, okay, in the regular classes. So we need to go with the basic. I know there are experienced people here, but even non-technical persons also there here. So I am taking for all basic level. Okay, you may, for a real-time people, you may feel as a boring, but these are the important points that I'm going to cover with the basic. Okay. All right. So storage is ready. You want to see, just go to the storage account. So this is my storage account name. I can see there is a blob service, one of the service you can store here. You can store the data. You can store the data wherever you want. So in the blob service, I'll create one folder. The folder name is application data. In application data, every day I get the data here. So I can upload for time being because I don't have system to get and directly process. So I'm creating application data. I'm uploading one file. Let's assume there is a file. Okay. Directly application is writing every day the file, everyday data, they'll write here. Okay. This data we need to process to the target. Right. Data factory is also ready. Can we launch the development tool? Yes, this is your development tool. That means data factory development now. So before that, can we go one more thing? We'll create SQL database also quickly. We created this method, this, and we'll create this one. Okay. Let's see here. First, we'll create database. In the cloud only I'm creating. I'm not installing with a setup file. The next process, I'm not doing that. I'm not saving in my C drive. I'm creating SQL Server database in the cloud only. Okay. My subscription, account name, my project name, the database name is customer database or Azure database, whatever you want to call database. Under Azure database, I'm going to store in Vinay SQL Server. I'm creating a new SQL Server in cloud with the name called Vinay. Physical I'm installing in location called East US with a user ID. User ID I'll give you admin, or I'll take Vinay admin. So please note it down. Whatever we are creating, this is my server name. This is my username. Okay. Or else bit to easily understand, not to remember here. So we can go with your whatever name you want. Okay. Password. That's it. Click OK. Now how much GB you want? Do you want to create development server or production server? If you take production server, a big configuration, high configurations, development, less configurations. You can see your configurations. How much GB of data you want? You want 1 GB, 10 GB, 300 GB, or less number of GBs. It's up to you how much you want. The cost will change. So here, the cost is not dependent on the storage account. The cost is dependent upon the performance. If you purchase a laptop, if you take 500 GB of disk or 1 TB of disk, if you observe, there will be no max difference between in your cost. If you take 1 TB of storage account in your laptop or 500 GB of disk, there will be no max difference, some basic level difference, minor difference. But when you increase the RAM, when you increase the core processor, you will see in the pricing a lot of difference, because you are purchasing the performance here. You're purchasing the performance here. For performance, you have to pay. The same way here also, we are not physically selecting core processor, CPU, RAM and all. So that will be decided, each service will be decided performance. So if you see here, if I go here, basic, even if I take a basic also, if you see in the basic, I have up to max 2 GB. Okay, there is a cost some 400 rupees. If I want to increase the performance of this one, sorry. If you see, if I go standard, if I decrease, let's suppose after 250 GB to 330 GB, there is no difference in the cost. If I increase 200 GB, there is no difference in the cost. But if you increase the performance of that database, that is getting multiplied. If you increase the performance, you indirectly increasing the physical resources, dedicated resources. So each service will be calculated in the cloud based on data transactions unit, data integration unit, data warehouse unit, storage capacity units, analytical units, processing units. So based on that, it will calculate in the cloud. That is very, very important for your DP203 certification. All right. So don't worry. We'll discuss in detail level. For time being, we don't have time. So I'm just selecting 2 GB. Max 400. That is not going to detect now. You need to pay from free account, but it is cost that is giving you estimated per month. It may be or may not be. That is estimation based on your uses. Okay. Click apply. Very simple. Backup. Yes, we required backup. Review and deploy. Estimated cost. So no issues. Create. It will not detect 400. Okay. So what we have created, storage account is ready, data is ready, data factory is ready, account is creating. Can we go and now these pictures, these accounts are ready. Now we want to develop here. Let's go inside this picture. So if I see inside this picture, we are now in the data factory. So what we required? We required a pipeline to be created. Can we create a pipeline? Very simple. Let's go to the data factory. So this is a very, very important tool. These are only 3 types you need to understand. There are a lot of requirements are there on this tool. Only just this service. You don't require any other service. This is very, very important tool. Okay. So I'm creating now a pipeline, data pipeline. What is a pipeline purpose? Purpose is to load the data from the storage account, from the blob storage account to Azure SQL database tables. This is my pipeline name. Loading the data from the blob storage to Azure SQL database pipeline. Now, with the help of activity, these are the activities. What task you are going to do? I'm going to work as a copy data task. We call as activity. So same way, what we are doing, we are used a copy data activity. Copy data activity required data set. Data set is required link service. Link service are nothing but which one you want to connect. Very simple. So source is asking me the data set. Copy data activity in the data set. What is your source? Our source is blob storage. Can we go and select blob storage? Click on new. So this is the place where you can select a multiple lot of connections, even you didn't know about the storages account. So there are multiple storages, lot of storages, lot of connectivities are there in this one. Structure, semi-structure, unstructured, wherever the data is. So this many connections we have, and this is something like it is not like a version you need to change or migration you need to do. This every day it updates like your softwares. How it will update? Same way it will update and add a new features, new services. It will not affect any your development. Okay. Now I want blob storage. I'll search here as blob. Click continue. What format you want? Structure, semi-structure, unstructured. It is a CSV file. Click on continue. This is my source data set. Do you have any connection? That is link service. Yes, I want to create a one connection in the subscription. I have a Vinay storage account. Click create. Don't worry how to create and all. I'll tell you in coming classes. Very, very important. So if you observe there is an application, we have a file. Click continue that file. Click OK. And now you can see the data. So what is this option? How to use this option? How to use these other options? I'll explain you detail level in regular class. If I explain you now, you will get confused. Before this option, we need to understand other things. Okay. Our main aim here to process your data. This is the data. And from this data, where we are copying from blob to Azure SQL table. Okay, source is ready. Can we go with the target? Yes, definitely. Do you see database is created? Still it is creating. Still it is creating. Why it is taking time? Let's wait for a few minutes. It's going to create. Okay, so that we can create a connection for that. So anyone know what is the tool that used to write a SQL queries? In which tool we write a SQL queries? What platform we use to write a SQL queries? Anyone know? SSMS, yes, correct. Any other tools? Okay. Azure Data Studio, okay. And any other tools? Yeah. Let's wait. Okay, you can see data set is created here. And we required SQL Server. So we'll search SQL database. It is on premises, post, managed, on premises. Which one SQL Server you want to connect? It is a Azure SQL database. These are the multiple databases from different platforms. Click continue. We don't have link service, so we'll go with the link service creation. In the subscription, do we have server name? Server name is not getting found because it is under deployment. Why it is taking longer time? Okay, so what I'll do, I'll go here quickly. I'll try to install one more database. Let's see. SQL database. Click on create. In the same service, database name is like customer DB. Vinay Tech SQL Server new. Okay. Creating a user ID and password. This is a development server. How much capacity we want? We can go minimum 2 GB. Later, if you want, it is a flexible. I told you in earlier classes in the last session, if you required to increase the GB of, it is very difficult. Now I'm selecting 2 GB here. Later also I can increase. Once it is created also, you can change configurations. It is not like a fixed one. Whenever you require, you can change it. You want to decrease, you can decrease here. Space. Okay, it is very scale in and scale down. Okay, it is getting created, so we no need to create again. Let's wait, it will get completed. Server is created. Can we go and test in the connection? Very simple. Server is ready. You can see it is displaying now. Database is created. No, only master is created. Our Azure SQL data is supposed to create. Azure DB is under process. So everything through portal itself. No physical installation process here. Okay, it will complete in next one. Okay, it is completed. Not a problem. Can I go and refresh now here? Refresh. Azure SQL DB. What is the username? when I take SQL Server? What is the password? You remember I have given user ID and password. So it will throw you error because you don't have access. You don't have access. I need to provide the access. So it will throw you error. Okay. So you need to set up some firewall settings. What is that? In detail level, we'll discuss. Okay. So I'll test it now. My connection. It is working now. So do you see anywhere I create a table? No, right? I didn't create any table. I don't have any table. It is completely new. It is a completely new database. So even though if you don't know how to create table, we'll create a table at runtime. You want customer table, customer data. This is my table. Okay. So click OK. So here I'm going to tell that in the target, I want to create auto create table. Auto create table. And very important is mapping. Very important is mapping. So how you want to create the tables? Okay, these are the tables. Okay, these are the fields. Done, ready, validate, no issues, no error found. Let's start the process. Execute the pipeline. So you are executing the pipeline. Data, load data blob to Azure SQL database pipeline. So how to select SSMS? I told you SSMS we can go. Or if you don't want to install, you can here only you can select query. There is a query editor. Sir, I don't have SSMS, I don't have SQL Server. Not a problem. You remember I just created a customer table on the fly. There is a table also you received. See, it is executed. Can we see the picture? What it's showing? It's showing that blob to SQL database. Just 1 second, guys. I'll put a message to my other class team members. Okay. All right. So what we are doing, if you observe here, the file read is one file. It may be a number of file in the real time. And how many record is read? 31 record. How many record is written in the table? 31. How it is calculating? I told you there is a data integration unit. By default, data factory will charge 4 units. You can decrease to 1 or 2. How to do that? We'll see that. Before that, let's see 31 record is processed or not. Can we see here? Let's run it. See the data. Do you want to see the count? Yes. If I know basic SQL, I can tell the count also. How many record is processed? 31. Right? What we did here, from storage to data factory to pick the data, we processed here. Can we serve the food now through Power BI? Yes, it is basic. We can go to the Power BI desktop. Let's implement how to serve the data. We prepare the data. It is in proper format, understanding format, easy to analyze. Whatever query you want to do, you did in the Excel, right? We did this information in the Excel. Where is that Excel? Same format. Can I write a query if I know query? Yes, I can write a query also. What you want? Address wise, sum of what is that? E-salary, right? As revenues or count of EID as counts. Basic SQL group by address. Can we execute? Now the data type operand issues, data type operand issues. What is the syntax? Anyone know? Can you see? Canada, how many records? 5 records. India, how many records? 8 records. UK, how many records? This is the data. So you don't require Excel, you don't require this one, even though you have basic knowledge on SQL also you can do. So this is a cross verification. After loading the data, whether the data is properly processed or not, then this team will get started. So that team, that we only. Okay. Now let's create a blank report. So where is the data? Data is in the cloud. Can we go in Azure? I want more sources. I want more sources. I am doing this manually every day. I have to run and have to share the data. Why can't we do automation? So this is the automation process. So in the Azure, what is in Azure? There are multiple storages. Where is your data? The data is in SQL. So I'll go to the overview. This is in the database. What is the database name? What is the server name? I'll copy here. Copy. It is in the Azure SQL database. Click on continue. Click on continue. What is your server name? What is your database name? What is your user ID? What is your password? You have to enter. So this is my already same server in the Azure database. It is already credentials are there. It is picking the data, customer data. Okay, it having some records, billions of records. Load the data. We are not loading anywhere. Power BI is not a ETL tool, guys. Power BI is just a reporting tool. By using this graphical user interface, we share the data to the client. Client is required more colorfuls. They don't understand our table format. They required graph. They required some colorfuls graphs. Okay, more interactive they required. So our data is here. Now you tell me what colorful you want. I'll add it. Pie chart. You want line chart. You want bar chart. Whatever the information you want, we can generate our information. Salary wise, they want to see addresses, how much it is occupied the space. And here I will share my IDs, employees IDs by locations. How many are they shared? You can show them. You can display. This is all information. Okay. Where is that? Employee ID is this one. Okay, let me go with other charts, cluster chart. Okay, addresses wise, their employees. Employees not in the that format. That is what it is showing this way. No problem. We'll go with salaries. So how much salaries? This one. Okay. So what we'll do, if you are see here, there's almost it was covered this much of space. Okay. So in case of by mistake somebody started the pipeline again. By mistake, somebody, your junior or senior, we don't know, they started this process. What will happen? There may a chance of, again, it's going to extract this data. This pipeline will extract this data. Again, will process 31 records. Okay. And when the client will refresh this report, he will see How much record? 62 records. And this is a wrong, it will show you high revenue. So my data again process 31 records. In the final report, if I just click on refresh here, I don't do anything because it is already connected with live server. If I just refresh my report, after 1 minute, after 2 minutes, I'll come back and I'll refresh. How many records are there? Almost, it is a doubled. Now it's showing 236. It is doubled. Then your client will raise to your report developers. They will ask these people again, they will raise to us. So you need to also, while developing these templates, you need to make sure that you use a proper templates. It may be a full load, incremental load, delta load, regular load, or other methods, whether by using CDC, by using SCD, by using lookups, by using other transmissions. These all topics we're going to cover. For time being, if you want to apply full load, you run 100 times also. It's not going to change my records. So there is a one script I am running it. What script? I am just telling to my activity before loading the data, delete the entire records. Then process. If you run one more time, if you run 100 times for that particular day, there will be no change in the records. There will be no chance of data duplications. Already 62 records are there in my table. So before loading the data, I am deleting my entire records from the table, and then I am starting fresh records. That is one of the template called full load process. Okay. So can we see 31 records as per this one? It has to be a 93. Okay. But now if you go and refresh, it will automatically solve our issue. It will come back with the original report. Okay. I'm just refreshing it. I'm just refreshing it. So how many records are there? You can see almost it come in the original position. So even though there is a issue, you have to come into the picture as a ETL developer. That is what the more work we have. Once it is developed, for report developer, there is no other job. They have to only monitor. If any kind of issues are there, they will also just route their ticket to the concern team, ETL development teams. So you have a work more in ETL, whether in terms of support, in terms of development. Got it? All right. Any other questions? Any other doubts? By this, I'm just stopping it. So from tomorrow, we'll be starting the regular classes.